Episode 1, Ghosts of the Rocky Mountains. Scene 1, at a high mountain pass near Timberline, in the San Juan mountain range of the Colorado Rockies. A man, his pack goats, and a dog named Scout are traveling an old crumbling asphalt of an old mountain road, reclaimed by nature. Abandoned, rusted vehicles litter the sides of the road, some partially buried in snowdrifts. Sunlight filters through the thin, crisp air, creating a stark, dramatic light that shines on Hank's cold face, allowing the sunshine's warmth to absorb into the skin of his face, and this makes the old veteran feel warm inside and out. It was a cold midsummer night, and at this elevation, it's always colder. Frost was still on the green grass and spruce trees until the sun came up and the night's frost quickly disappeared, except on the north side of the spruce trees, which was fun to watch happen before Hank's very eyes. Hank and his 12 pack goats slowly traversed the mountain pass. For the older and well-trained pack goats, these goats are the ones working today carrying the packs, since this is the last part and most dangerous part of the pass. Today they crest the pass and start to go down the other side. In those packs, everything he has and owns is in those packs. His survival depends on all the precious cargo his loyal trail companions are happily carrying for Hank. It seems to Hank that the goats really like to work, and they get this air about them when they have the packs on. Hank spent years breeding pack goats that are built for high-altitude travel. Big-boned, long-legged, teak fur with a wool shag undercoat for the cold, long winter months, which is valuable to Hank. He collects the wool and makes his own wool socks as a trade item for a hefty price. Wool socks are rare and very valuable nowadays. People trade more openly for a pair of wool socks, and that is how things are done now since the happening. He is weathered and focused, but his eyes betray a deep sadness. He glances at a broken watch on his wrist. The cold is evident in his slightly reddened cheeks and the way he's bundled up. The night was long and cold with no fire to keep warm or cook a hot cup of soup or herbal tea to get moving early enough to cross the pass. Passes are always dangerous since this is a choke point that can be an ambush just waiting to happen. But Hank had to take the risk to get to the rally point and wait for his former comrade in arms. Jay and his family are fighting to get to the rally point with 1,000 miles between them. Hank's eyes pan across the abandoned vehicles, some twisted and wrecked from what looks like a catastrophic event, others showing signs of desperate attempts to seek shelter. When the event happened, no one knew what to do. So many just like these people sheltered in place and kept calling for a tow truck only to be met with dead cell phones. The cars have been scavenged many times over, so it's not worth the trouble and calories to look for anything of value like food. So Hank and the crew just keep marching on past all the ghosts of the past silently, as if not to wake anything. Hank hears the sound of wind whistling through the peaks and the wind-swept spruce trees. It sounds nice now, but midday on top of the pass, that mild wind could be Gall's strength gust and make the pass impassable. Just got to keep on marching on. March or die, as the French Foreign Legion would say, or did say. No one knows what became of one another. Complete blackout, seemingly all at once, all over the world. Hank also can hear the occasional bird calls of high-altitude species, but an unsettling silence overall. Hank is dreading the pass. Not that the pass itself isn't out to kill you, but what lurks in the passes. Humans. The soft, rhythmic sound of the goats' hooves on the rocky terrain assures Hank the crew is doing well behind him as he looks over his shoulder to check on the packs and see if they are riding properly and balanced. And Scout, ever watching the goats and what is around the corners that Hank can't see or smell? Well, some of the time when he is downwind of a human, and let's say personal hygiene has taken a step back as well. That smell, what's that smell song would run through Hank's head will often alert them all. That danger is close by. It's not just the humans, but something happened with the wildlife. Some are even more aggressive and bigger, and others, well, they're different. Not sure if they want to help or harm you. The Mountain Pass Day. The Mountain Pass is a ghost of its former self. Nature has begun to reclaim it, but the scars of the cataclysm are still raw. Hank leads his herd of pack goats along the cracked asphalt. The goats, Goliath, Ziggy, Patches, and Old Man carry packs filled with supplies. These goats are strong and sturdy, bred for this harsh environment. Hank checks his broken watch, a futile gesture, then looks over his shoulder at the goats to check on their loads, that they are riding properly. Hank stops, scanning the surroundings. His gaze lingers on a rusted-out car, half buried in a snowdrift. The goats shift, their breath misting in the cold air. Willow one of the does in the back of the pack train, ever curious, trying to veer off the path toward a patch of hardy mountain wildflowers. By the flowers that Hank can see, he knows it is late June or early July the best time of the year to get over these high mountain passes. Thunderstorms are deadly, and storms kick up usually midday to late afternoon. Hank adjusts his worn backpack, the leather creaking. He's wearing heavier clothing than in the lower elevations, dressed in layers to protect him from a mountain chill. A tattered photo is tucked into a side pocket. T-image of a smiling woman barely visible. Scene 2. An abandoned campsite. A fire pit, now cold and overgrown with hardy alpine plants. Scattered debris, broken tools, a torn backpack, a discarded map. The campsite is nestled in a sheltered area, perhaps near a stand of stunted pine trees. Hank examines the fire pit, his expression grim. He notices signs of a hasty departure. Hank's eyes lock on the discarded map, revealing a fragmented view of a familiar area, now unrecognizable. Landmarks like mountain peaks are distorted or missing. Upon seeing the map, Hank has a flashback. A brief, blurry image of a younger Hank in a military uniform in a chaotic war zone. But this time, the terrain is mountainous, perhaps a snowy battlefield. He felt as if he was back in Afghanistan for a moment till Scout came up and nudged his hand. That snapped Hank back, then gave Scout a pat on the head and said quietly good boy to Scout. Good boy, Scout. The wind picks up, creating a mournful sound as it whips through the peaks. This made Hank look up into the sky, trying to figure what the weather might do. A faint, metallic clatter as Hank examines a broken tool. The sound echoes in the thin air. That makes Hank's heart sink and starts looking around to see if anyone heard it. No one came running out of the bush and no arrows or gunshots. So far, so good.